And we are up. All right. Peace and love, everyone. This is another edition of the Mind, Body, Energy, and Balance podcast. We okay, Flo?
Yes, we are.
Just testing everything, testing the mics, testing it all. Welcome to another episode. I am Samut, Mama Yoga Wellness, and we are welcoming our producer extraordinaire, Flaw 700. What's up, Flaw?
What's going on? Something, something a little different. Trying something a little different with the video.
Yeah.
Usually we're sitting across from the table, but now
Mhm.
we're doing it virtual. It's 2023. Might as well use the technology.
Yes, what is real? What is
Right,
not real?
right, right.
Yeah, so let's open our show giving praise and honor to our ancestors upon whose shoulders we stand. May all of the genius, the wisdom, the skill, the love that they imparted and that they attained while they were here be passed to us that we may share with the community at large that hears the sound of our voice and be better nourished and blessed for the blessings. Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So usually we talk about a current event and put it in perspective in terms of mind, body, energy being in balance. Um, I haven't really focused on any current events, at this stage or today for this week. Anything you noticed that came up, Flaw, that you want to share,
Well,
possibly?
real quick,
Mm-hmm.
just to recap the previous episode, which is what I like to do.
Yeah.
Um, Last week's poll was, would you go 50-50 in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship? And right now, with 10 hours left, the polls are tied. No, it's 100% yes. It's yes. 50-50
Mm-hmm.
is kind of the thing that people are into these days and
Mm-hmm.
voted 50-50. Also, last week we touched on Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade's 50-50 situation, and we
Mm-hmm.
talked about this before we hit record that the reels on Instagram are really taking off, but it just seems like the people aren't really listening to the full 60 seconds of it.
Right, right,
They're
right.
just saying, why don't you mind your business? And as I sit here and because I was here when you did it, I'm like, well, that's the point. That's what
Right.
we're trying to get everybody to understand is what works for them works for them. But
Mhm.
people attention spans, they're just
Mhm.
getting shorter and shorter to where you can't even give people 60 seconds of entertainment anymore. It has to be um real very brief. So
Yeah. No, you have to, yeah, the attention span is eroding. And I thought the topic last week was excellent. One of the topics we touched on. What I saw in the comments was people saying, I don't care about their business, and true indeed, neither do I really, I think it really was me asking what y'all think about them going 50-50 that spawned those type of responses. The point is though, what works for you,
mhm.
and like you said, how does what you got going on in your life, how's that helping your relationship, how does that work for you, and that's the point. um but yeah, so 100% people is like, yeah, let's go 50-50.
Yeah, yeah. That- that's
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 what's
what
up.
yeah.
That's what's up. That's the time period we living in. That's all good. If that's what works for people, that's what works for folks. I have other people talking about some of the other things that we shared in terms of the chat GPT
Hmm.
and the whole avatar experience, that the chat GPT and AI, is coming onto the scene. It's already been onto the scene, like we said in that particular episode. Elon Musk stated, we're already part cyborg,
Hmm.
because of the dependence, the interdependence really, on of the cell phone and these screens, and us using the digital era so much is already infused in our energy, so to speak, right? So it is what it is, and people gonna feel how they feel, child. I'm not tripping about how somebody I don't even know me you know, their comments. We put it out there for people to comment on.
Right.
You know, when the internet first, you know, opened up and blossomed and all of that, I would say, don't put stuff, if you don't want people to know your business or what's going on with you, don't put it on social media, right? Because that, what you putting it out there for, you know, if you don't want people to have comments on it, you know, which is a dangerous kind of thing, because you open your, you know, your world and what's going on with you up to, you open that up to literally hundreds, if not thousands, of comments about your life that people don't have a full, well-rounded picture or understanding about. So same thing with these celebrities, you know, they put their dynamics out here, like, you know, Gabby saying she and her man go 50-50 or whatever, for whatever that reason. People gonna comment on that. If you put it out there, people gonna have something to say about it, whatever. And that's the risk you take. You just have to decide whether it's going to matter to you or not.
Absolutely.
And if you want people, the other thing people do with their social media is it's like a diary, you know, like people are really like writing like every single thing. Like back in the day, when a person would keep a journal or quote unquote a diary, you would write your feelings or your experiences of the day down in that diary or in that journal. You'd write them down, you know, what situation took place and how you felt about the specific situation. But now social media posts for many people are, in fact, you know, a way of journaling or a way of putting down, you know, a diary. They're using it like a diary, you know, and I find that to be a little odd for me, from my personal taste. You know, again, you're sharing every single thing that's happening with you to people that you don't even know or don't know you in a holistic way. Yeah.
Well, social media, we as a general public are kind of losing track of what it was for.
Mm-hmm.
It was really a way for family to stay
Mm-hmm.
in contact. So if you think about that, where your Facebook page, your Instagram page, your Twitter
Mm-hmm.
page
Mm-hmm.
are supposed to be family, then you can understand why you share certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But and I've been guilty of this as well, to where I had to do like a massive cleaning.
Yeah.
Why do I have thousands of people on my Facebook? Why do I have thousands of people? I think I'm
Mm-hmm.
down to like 300, and I barely talk to them.
Right.
But if we actually use the social medias for what they were for, then I can understand with some
Mm-hmm.
of the expressions that we use. But a lot of times we just it's a numbers game. Oh, I got 10,000, 5,000 for what?
Right.
So
Yeah, but from my perspective, you don't need that. You don't need 10,000 friends.
no,
If you have a business, then you need 10,000 customers.
hmm
But you don't need 10,000 friends, 10,000 people weighing in on your intimate aspects of your life, or just even your personality or things that you post or whatever, you know. But again, that's contrary to, you know, the time period that we live in, you know. um that's old school. What I'm saying is old school. You know, you keep your circle tight and small and intimate. You cannot manage a circle of 10,000 friends. You just can't manage that many people intimately, you know. So but it is what it is. We're here in this digital age, we're doing what we do. It's all good. We got to just make the time period that we're living in work for us, you know.
and I'll say start going on your social medias and removing people.
Yeah.
Once again, I can speak for myself. I've done this where you
Mhm.
follow someone because of you might find them attractive, or they made one post you like. You
Mhm.
start to realize that this person is pretty annoying, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, you're you're the one disrupting your peace. You follow
Mhm.
them.
Mhm.
Nobody asked you to follow this person, but every time
Mhm.
you go on the socials, your peace is disturbed because they said something that just blew your mind. And it's just like,
Mhm.
why do I follow this person? So go
Mhm.
onto your socials and start unfollowing people who don't serve you, who don't serve a purpose. Like I said, I went from a few thousand to around like 300.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still looking to get rid of some people right
Out
now,
of that 300.
out of that 300. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead. Like it'll make you feel good. It'll make you feel better. Just go on
Mm-hmm.
socials and just get rid of them. Unless you, like you said, unless you're running a business,
Yeah.
unless you got a podcast, and then you
Yeah.
might want to create a separate page for your pod. My opinion, like create a
Mm-hmm.
separate page because that's where all of the strangers or the people who say they support you, they'll come, but they'll come in drones, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to bring that type of energy to your personal page. This is just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Because there are some people that say your brand, like keep
Mm-hmm.
everything on one page so everybody knows who you are and what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Some people that do say that.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I would keep it all separated. The social medias,
Right.
just to keep the peace in your personal life and your personal page.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. You got to separate it out. You really do because, like you say, you have people with trolley perspectives and trolley behaviors coming into your personal page and all of that. So your business or whatever your public offering, um, you know, should be separated from your personal, where you are, connecting with family and people you went to high school with and stuff like that. I totally get that, and I think that that's so cool, which is what Facebook initially was supposed to be. It's supposed to be networking and connecting with people that you went to college with. It was initially a college or school based platform, and then it kind of grew into all these so-called followers and friends, and now Facebook is more back to, this is where my auntie is posting, we having a cookout, and somebody died. And I said years ago, I don't want to, when I saw this social media thing, I was telling people, I don't want to find out your mama died on social media. But guess what? That is what's happening.
Hmm.
And the fact that, you know, we have, we have, and the fact, that the platform doesn't show you every post. So you could have something really happen, really serious or important happen, and not see it till 2 weeks after it's happened. So I still say to people, call me. If you know me, call me. Like when my mom passed, right, recently. And people were just commenting under the posts, which is all good for the majority of people who I don't have an intimate relationship with. But people who I do have an intimate relationship with, I kind of expected a personal phone call. Really, I really did. Not that I'm expecting people to behave a certain way, but I just thought that that would have been more appropriate than you putting under the post condolences. Like, me personally, you
Right.
have my phone number. Like, this is a situation in my family, a life altering, situation. If you are intimately connected to me, you, in my perspective, you're supposed to call me directly, because a social media post, although somebody acknowledging something like a hard challenge in your life, or somebody in your life passing, people acknowledging that, of course, is a wonderful and blessed thing, but it's still distant, it's still disconnected to a degree. So if we are intimate, if we intimate enough for you to have my personal phone number, and something happens and I post that something happens, I think you should call me. And a few people didn't. And I didn't say nothing, but just because I don't talk about it, which is one of the subjects we're going to talk about today, doesn't mean I didn't notice it. Doesn't mean I didn't see it, because surely if something, I see something intimate happen in their life, and I might post under the, I might what do they call it, put a response under the post. But if I got your number, I'm gonna call you or text you or something. I'm probably, knowing me, I'm gonna call you, and I want to hear your voice, and I want you to hear my voice and the energy, right? But this is how, this is the space that the social media has everybody in, that it's okay to just drop a reply or drop a comment under a post and keep it moving. Keep it scrolling. So,
Yeah, I just to piggyback off that, just a
mm-hmm,
smidge.
mm-hmm,
What I've been doing,
mm-hmm.
once again, I guess I'm just getting older and just annoyed with what is,
Right.
and you can see how things, just aren't how they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But for what I've been doing, and I can't recall how long I've been doing this, but if it's your birthday, I don't do the whole happy birthday under your post thing no more. Stuff like
Mm-hmm.
if I have your number, I'll text you directly. I'm a texter, so I'm not a caller. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
calling anybody, but I will
Mm-hmm.
still reach out to you directly on
Right.
telephone that I know that you possess if I have your number
Right.
in a sense of that way. But these conversations are definitely important because I hear what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
The more further we go into the future that we're going into, this is going to be the norm.
Yeah.
But there's some people who really don't see an issue with
Mm-hmm.
what you just said, but there
Mm-hmm.
are people who see an issue with what you just said. So
Right.
it's a balance, and we are going somewhere. But it's important for us with a podcast to
Mm-hmm.
continue to have these conversations to let people know, hey, I'm not okay with that. It could be about music, it could be about
Right.
food, it could be about
Right.
anything. You could just say, hey, I remember a time when this is what we did, and it's okay
Mm-hmm.
because if we
Mm-hmm.
don't, it's going to get to where it's going quicker.
Yeah. It just desensitizes your humanity, right? And makes it easier for you to stay disconnected from people that you should be connected to. Again, you cannot have an intimate connection with 16,000 people or 1,600 people or really 300 people for that matter. Human beings, the psyche, the tribal flow of the human consciousness does not work that way. In fact, the model for success in the world is always a nucleus of a few people steering the project, the family, whatever, into the particular direction. And then the rest of the corporation, the family, the project carry out the instructions or benefit from what, the nucleus has, worked together on. The smaller the group, the more you can get done. The bigger the group, the tighter the nucleus has to be, because the nucleus, that smaller intimate connection has to direct the outlay as it grows bigger and bigger and bigger. So the core, the steering body, the most intimate center has to be really tight. They got to work together. They got to be simpatico. They have to be flowing. They have to all be on the same page. They have to have one voice in terms of the direction of whatever it is they are steering. In corporations, in churches, in any organized body, you always have only a few people, a handful of people at the most, working together to get that institution, organization, or whatever, get it doing what the vision is for it to do. It ain't everybody in there creating and making the thing go. It's just the way that it is. So just like that example, so too is that true for, friendships and intimate relationships, right? Even in organizations where it is a social, organization, it's thousands of people. Just let's say the Greeks, right? Let's say a sorority or fraternity, right? Thousands of people in those organizations, but still they break down into smaller groups. And then within that group, you have people that are connected and close and tight. And within that, you have still people that break down smaller that are close and tight, right? So, this idea of, thousands of people that we're connecting to, and it's okay to just pop by and, disregard or surrender your capacity to be intimate with that person, surrender your connection, your human to human connection is really the great setup, right? And we becoming more and more comfortable and disconnected in our humanity by, adhering to the digital sphere, and AI is really kind of like I'm not going to say it's the least of our worries, but it's got to get a doorway somewhere. And the doorway is the blindly following the disconnection of communicating with each other in an intimate way, humanity to humanity. That's for real. Yeah. So we on these social media platforms, and we on all the kind of digital sphere. We on one right now, you know, but it is to encourage. Yes, this is a good thing. Yes, it's useful. Yes, it's helpful. But go hug your mama. Call your auntie or your uncles. Y'all get together and have a drink or break bread or whatever, and put the damn phones down and hang out with each other one to one intimately. You go to somebody's family reunion now, everybody got their head down scrolling, as opposed to up, playing games and, engaging each other, you know? And that's just the encouragement. We're not trying to knock you off of social media. I got every dang on platform there is, except Snapchat. Nobody won't show me how to use Snapchat. Dang it.
I don't see the purpose.
But Mama Yoga, I got a TikTok, I got an Instagram, I got them all. I got to reboot my Twitter. Actually, I haven't been using my Twitter. But anyway, that's all I really wanted to share about that, because I'm gonna be on these platforms as well. But I'm gonna go by and visit some people and call people too. Like my sister, Flaw's mama. Hey, Pukalata. Shout out Pukalata. Shout out Latanda. I would call her and she'd be like, "Why are you calling me? Like, text me. Like, why are you calling me? I don't want to answer the phone. Text me." I'm like, I don't give a blankety blank. This is my baby sister, right? I do not give a blankety blank that you don't want to answer the phone. I'm calling you. I want to hear your voice. I don't want to see no words on the screen. She like, you get on my nerves. I'm like, you get on my nerves too. And I'm happy we got nerves to get on. Kisses. Love you. Bye. So, you'll have people that be like, it's rude. I sent you a text and you called me. That's rude.
Yeah.
It's all of this, etiquette. But the point is, don't lose your humanity. Don't lose your connection one to the other. We have to know our power, and we shouldn't just surrender our powerfulness to any entity. You shouldn't just surrender the power that is encompassed in your mind, body, and energy over to, a non sentient being or anything, right? Whether that's an organization you join, a church, an affiliation, whatever. It's better if you go into these connections standing in your power, knowing who you are and what you have to offer, what you have to contribute, what it is that you yourself personally can value add to that dynamic and that situation, and what it is you'd like to receive from being connected to said organization, community, whatever. That's a different perspective, because oftentimes, let's just talk about church for a minute. Oftentimes, when we connect to a religious or spiritual organization, we are encouraged to understand that we are standing in a space of service, right? That the spiritual or the religious doctrine and protocols that we experience by being connected to said organization or religion or whatever is for our nourishment, and in exchange for that, for understanding how that nourishment should be participated in and manifested, In exchange for that understanding, you can offer your service or be of service to that particular context or structure or organization. I hope I'm making myself clear. What I want to push back on is that if you stand in your own power when you come into connection with these particular, with any organization, it doesn't have to be religious, but if you're standing in your own power, then you can better see how to serve and how to have that entity serve you. Because even though, we'll stay on religion here a moment, spiritual constructs and the keepers of those constructs, the pastor, the reverend, the minister, the guru, the leader, the teacher, whatever is the title, those are the keepers of the protocols and the constructs of the spiritual or religious doctrine that you're seeking to understand, right? If you go to those communities or those structures already understanding your value, then it is less of an opportunity that you will put yourself in a position where you are devalued, where you're serving without that particular entity, engagement, whatever, serving you as well. And this happens a lot across organizations, communities, what have you. And then people suffer burnout. They feel misused. They feel like, what am I doing this for after a time? Right? So if you know your power, if you have made a habit of knowing your value, or at least you value adjacent, right? At least you have some modicum that you are not a worthless, lowly, unworthy, terrible, sinning, horrid being. And you have to go to someone else for them to uplift you. That changes your dynamic and your connection, how you come to the table in a particular way. You don't have, you most likely, more than likely, will not have as much opportunity to be used up as you may if you go in a perspective that you are not worthy, or that you don't have anything of value to add to this particular space that you are participating in, and that it has all the value to add to you. Now, some people might say, "Oh, Samu, Mama Yoga, that's you thinking way too much of yourself," or somebody's thinking way too much of themselves if they're going to, especially like a religious institution, and it's like, "Oh, well, I have something to add too." I can add value to what is being offered here. And people do it all the time. They don't think of it that way, though. They say, "Oh, the people need food. Let me bring sandwiches. Let me begin to offer something. Oh, I can sing. Let me sing. I am a carpenter. I know how to construct and put things. Let me bring my skills to this particular community, organization, or whatever that I love, to help it flourish. I'm adding." But they don't think I'm adding value. They are being encouraged to understand that it is their responsibility to serve, as opposed to, listen, we're serving you, so you serve us too. Or we're giving you value and you can share your value with us as well. And then, that's how people run into the dynamics of, like I said, being burnt out, feeling like they are just being taken advantage of, feeling like they are just giving, 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 and, not really receiving an earthly manifestation or an earthly set of nourishment. Right? Know your power. Make a habit of assessing your value, the beauty within you, what you contribute, what you can contribute, and your value as a divine being. Nobody is worthless. Nobody is just, born to degradation and evil. And now someone else has to raise them up out of that. No, it is a symbiotic, sharing, connected. You take care of me, I take it, reciprocal exchange. At least that's my viewpoint. Others may not have that viewpoint, but that's my viewpoint. It's like anything. It's like when you even in your job situation, you want to work, you want to take on your career or job position from a perspective of you adding value, not that you only need what, that position for the money or whatever. No. Okay, yes, you probably do need the position for the money. I'm not saying that. But you stand more in a space of strength if your perspective is, well, I have something I can contribute. I am offering, I am helping, I am adding value to what I am doing, as opposed to I need them, but I don't really have, I don't really have much to offer. They have more to offer me than I have to offer them. That's what I'm really trying to get to. Does that make sense?
Definitely, it makes sense. I mean, you just put it in ways. You put it in words that you usually wouldn't put them in. Not you personally,
Right.
because you can have a job
Mhm.
and you go into the job with the wrong energy. I
Mhm.
need money.
Mhm.
Ooh, does this job bring you peace?
Right.
What about everything else? And then you realize that it becomes unbalanced when the money is the money, still the
Mhm.
money. And
Mhm.
every week or every 2 weeks you get paid, you get numb to the check.
Mhm.
Because the money is good, but then you get used to it because guess what? The money is spent.
Mhm.
But what's still fresh is the stress. What's
Fear the
still
Lord.
what's still
Mhm.
fresh is the you're unhappy with what you're doing, and in a sense to where you can go take another position or go get another job and the money might not be as great, but you feel like you're of value to the
Mhm.
job, and the where you can go in that position or in that organization is limitless. But sometimes, a lot of times, we just jump into a position because hey, we need money, and that seems to be all we're focused on. Uh,
Right.
so yeah, I
Right.
was I was in that position, but like I said,
Mhm.
I didn't put it the way you put it.
Right.
When you just going, okay, I'm about to get this promotion, I'm about to
Mhm.
be a manager somewhere, I'm about to make some money, but I'm not fulfilled. I'm not happy. I'm not
Yeah.
doing what I want to do. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of a lot of people are in that predicament. I mean, the workforce really is built on, people needing the perception of, listen, I need money, so I'm just going to work. And really that's kind of like the worst reason to give your time to someone, something, some entity. Of course, we need money. All of us need money, right? We're not living in a world where you can just smile and get by on your looks. That was a time, child. You know what I'm saying? You need economic resources to come into your life. But the thing is, it's very different if you're standing in your power and if you are doing what it is you love, then more about the exchange and the fulfillment of your life and your heart and your capacity and the reward. Then the monetary is gravy, is a joy. It's like another thing to be joyful about. But, just to go and be like, okay, well, just use my energy up and, whatever shekels you want to exchange, then fine. But you just, I'm here because I need, those shekels. So just use me however you want to use me. No, we want to begin to do things in our power. We want to stand in your power, in your gift, and in your strength, right? Everybody has a gift that they were born with. And it's your responsibility to steward, disseminate, share, pull back, control, and offer your gift. Your gift is your responsibility. There are many people I know who are so big hearted, like they just share so openly and they just give and give and give. In the ancient Kemetic tradition, the ancient Osirian tradition, those people are said to be Ma'at or Ma'atic, right? They just give because there's a need, not because they're seeking something in return. Oftentimes, when people are big givers, that's their gift, they almost always feel taken advantage of. All of them, every single person I know who has a big giving spirit, big giving heart, at some point they always say they feel like people are taking advantage of them. But the reality of it is the giving, that big heartedness is their gift, that they are responsible for monitoring, stewarding, and pulling back in if need be. Can't nobody take advantage of you if you don't let them. And when you are a giver, oftentimes people who have big hearts give because they get a certain fulfillment out of that. But quietly there's an expectation that the person or the people are going to somehow give back to them. And the people that big-hearted givers share with almost never return the capacity or the energy, the gift back to them. So their gift has to come from somewhere else, or their receiving rather has to come from somewhere else. But to me, that's a prime example of having a huge, wonderful gift and not really stewarding that gift, feeling a certain obligation and a certain blindness in your giving. But then you feel that people around you are not reciprocating. So it's up to you to say, well, perhaps I will give, but maybe not so much, or maybe not in this direction. Or if I'm going to give, I'm just going to give and let it go and not think nothing about it. Your gift is your responsibility. Your gift is up to you to learn, to see how it moves, the energy of your gift, and to really steward your gift. Whether that's singing, whether that's having a big heart and giving, whether that's loving on people, whether that is being communal minded, whether that's like Steve Harvey said, if you can fry fish, your gift will make room for you, that whole speech he does. It's your responsibility. You know? So that's something I kind of wanted to bring to people's attention. It's not the person who you're sharing the gifts with responsibility to say, whoa, 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 slow down. Your gift is, come on, or yes, give me your gift. You should give me your gift. No, it's the person who has the gifts responsibility to learn how to deal with and how to share that is a balanced way, mind, body, energy balanced. And a lot of people are confused about that. And so it's the other person's fault for being greedy. No, they gonna be greedy. They gonna take as much as put out there,
Yeah,
and go ahead. No,
quick.
go ahead, baby.
Um, just to put it in terms that I've been processing it for in a while. Like I said, you break it down in ways that it's more advanced, but quite simply, we're here to be used, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the sense that if I'm in your life or somebody's in, you need to use them for however long that they're in your life. So whatever their gift is to you, yeah, you need to use them for that gift. And yes, you are correct. You can be a giver. I think that I'm a giver. I think that, but at the same time, you still that gift comes with maybe I'll receive something in return always. In a sense, like you don't really think about that, but it's natural for you to feel rejected, dejected, and but still give because that's just who you are, right? And just real quick, a lot of times with the homeless people, when homeless people ask you for something, you have some people who go, "What are you going to do with it?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you want to give what
Mm-hmm.
they do with the $5 or a dollar of food that you give them with,
Right.
it's their thing. So
That's
you
right.
can't give with, even though we give
Mm-hmm.
with, what do I get out of this? Or hey,
Right.
you do the right thing with this. Once you give,
Mm-hmm.
you've completed the mission.
Right. Absolutely. No, absolutely. I do want to redress something though. I don't stand in a space that we are put here to be used. That just kind of sounds um less kind than I know what you meant. To just use somebody, use their energy, use their time, use their whatever. I think that we are put here to find reciprocal and agreeable arrangements where we can exchange with one another our value. That's different than being used. I'm looking like right now on this podcast, we are exchanging each other's gifts. We found a way to work together so that it's a reciprocal exchange of each other's gifts for the betterment of both. I'm talking about you and I, Flaw, specifically, right?
Mhm.
So I have a certain capacity that I want to share with whoever will listen and whoever God, the spirits, ancestors send my way. I have a certain message and mission on my heart, a certain gift, if you will. And you, Flaw, have a certain gift of, technological capacity. We have decided to come together for the benefit of disseminating the message. Your gift is helping on one end. So your time, energy, effort is being, accessed by my gift, time, energy, and effort. I'm not using you. You are sharing your gifts and talents in a way that is reciprocal. And so am I. So that's what I meant by I get what you mean by we're put here to be used. And in a certain sense, that really boils down all of those nice ass words I just said, but it really boils it down, but not in that way. It's not being used, kind of sounds like usury, just a one way benefit, right? Like when you get in a relationship with somebody, you're not, you want to, okay, let's talk adult. A man and woman having an intimate experience, right? And the man really just wants her sex. He don't want nothing else. He just wants her sex. Well, in a woman's mind, that could be usury. That could be, he could just be using her because her sex in her mind is a doorway to a greater experience, um, a greater exchange, right? The sex is something that goes along with a longer, more enduring, more connected partnership. But what he wants is to just hit it and be out. And so in that instance, there's a usury happening. But if they both want to use the sex as a doorway to enhanced, more intimate partnership, then nobody's using nobody. It is a reciprocal exchange with the same purpose in mind. So nobody feels used. Am I making sense here?
Yeah, you make sense. I think that we are agreeing. You just
I'm just using those
yeah, you just
weird ass words.
words. Yeah, we're agreeing. I, like I said, you just break it down into ways to where you probably didn't
Mhm,
look at it like that before. But yeah,
mhm.
I think we're on the same page.
Well, nobody wants to think that they're being used or they're here to be used. Anyway, you got to know your gift and steward your gift and share your gift. How's best for you to share your gift, you know? From my own life, I kind of realized a few things about myself, right? And I come from, the Osiris uh, ancient Kemetic study of spiritual understanding. And within the capacity of that spiritual training, you are taught above all things that, this life is about experiencing, bringing your human energy into a balance so that your higher spirituality can guide your life, right? That you're not functioning from an animal perspective. Animals just survive in, just here to eat, food, clothing, shelter, surviving. That's an animalistic perspective, right? It's aggression, it's physical prowess, it's the reptilian and the mammalian brains at work within the human beings. The human is the thinking, the thinking ape, if you will, the thinking being. We didn't come from no damn apes, but I'm just saying the thinking mammal, right? The capacity to use thought and reasoning to deduct understanding in life. That's humanity. That's your humanness. Your spirituality, your spiritual self comes from the higher aspect of your frontal lobe, your pineal gland, the hypothalamus, the pituitary axis. That whole glandular system helps us connect to what is known as the higher aspect of our consciousness, the connectedness to source, the connectedness to spirituality. So in the Osirian initiation, one is taught to function as much as possible from the higher aspect, from the spiritually connected dynamics of your consciousness, right? So, in that regard, the mundane manifestations and behaviors of earthly life, of everyday life, are really of no consequence or should not be leading why you do something. Your spiritual connectedness and spiritual understanding should be leading your human instinct and your animalistic behaviors. Right? I'm going somewhere with this. So, within that understanding, if that's your philosophy and understanding of life, then your whole life is walking the high road. Don't matter you grew up in the projects. Don't matter that you got a fight in you. Don't matter that you know how to sling mud as strongly as anybody else. Once you get exposed to a certain spiritual doctrine, the expectation, not just from the gatekeepers or the teachers in that philosophy, but the doorways that have opened within your own spirit. The expectation is that you would function from the high road, a higher manifestation of behavior, thought process, and action than what you may be encountering. Sometimes the high road need to be under construction. Sometimes, you've just dealt with so many people, going back to your gift, right? So many people who you feel have taken advantage of your capacity to stay on the high road, that you feel a little blunted. You feel a little challenged to stay cheery and joyful and to try to see things from, a divine or high perspective, right? You want to reel your gifts in and just kind of, hermit a little bit, or stay out of, the light, so that you can repair the high road within you, because it's been trampled over quite a bit. So some people, like from my own life, recently, maybe a year ago, it was a situation where I was working with some individuals, and the female I was working with, her philosophy on life was sling as much mud as you possibly can sling, throw as much dirt as you can throw, fight as hard as you could fight. She lived in the animal and the mammalian brains. She lived very, you know, just very harshly
Mm-hmm.
in terms of her behavior. The error that I made was getting in the mud with her. I can't do the mud. I know how to do mud. Early years projects, Trenton. I know how to do mud. And sometimes I even throw the first set of dirt. Ain't nobody perfect at this stuff, at this high road. But what life lessons have taught me is that I should not do the mud, because a person who is going up, I'm engaging that with, is much better at it. You know, my whole energy is harmony. Even if I may present a rebuttal to someone's behavior or their conversation towards me, I still want harmony, and I still think the best of humanity, which is sometimes annoying as hell, because here you are thinking the best of humanity, and humanity keeps showing you the worst. Sometimes the high road need to be constructed, under construction. So, needless to say, I got my ass handed to me in the mud fight, right? Because that's what she do. She better at mud.
It wasn't your fight.
No, I didn't fight my fight. I fought her fight,
Mm-hmm.
and packed up my ball and went home. I don't want to play no more. The high road had to go under construction. Sometimes when you're a person who, that's your philosophy, like our dear forever POTUS, forever FLOTUS, First Lady Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go high. Sometimes when that's your philosophy, it just kind of feels like you don't get paid out for your reward. Going back to your gifts, right? And stewarding your gifts. Sometimes you feel like you don't get paid out for taking the high road, because the people still seem like they just getting away with behaving any old kind of way. You know, just like in my life, if I don't say nothing, oftentimes I may not say something when I see somebody behaving weirdly. Are you there, Flaw? We froze a little bit.
Yeah, I'm
Froze a little bit.
here.
You good? Okay.
Yeah.
So many times I will see somebody acting and behaving a certain way, or even behave a certain way towards me, and I won't say anything. In their behavior, I know in their mind, because their behavior indicates that they perceive it's okay to still behave that way, because I have not said nothing. talking about the high road. But it doesn't mean it's okay. It means that I'm choosing not to address it because I got, the mud is building up on the side. And what I need is the high road. So sometimes when you're a person who your philosophy is, I'm taking the high road, it feels like you're not being paid out for taking the high road because the people still seem like they are getting away with the shit that they're doing that's not right. But the reality of it is that the minute someone with a philosophy, let me keep my energy high, let me keep my vibration, strong, leaves that way of behaving and joins the person in the mud, they automatically lose. You just lose. This goes back to the same conversation that we had a couple of shows ago where the Earn Your Leisure boys went to go sit and talk with Joe Budden, and they stayed on the high road, man. He was slinging mud, his boys were slinging mud, but the way that they dealt with it was exemplary. And it caused a little bit of a self-reflection, because I could see me talking shit back to Joe Budden. But I would have lost. You see? The way that they stayed composed and on the point of what they were on his show about. The way that they knew, it was kind of like Zen warriors, right? I know this move. I know this opponent. I know this opponent is going to behave this way. Let me just keep my peace and move through. The same philosophy of the high road. So, in reflecting of the best course of action, just because I don't say nothing doesn't mean your behavior is correct. Just because I don't say anything doesn't mean your behavior won't be addressed. Just because I still smile at you and I still offer you pleasantries and good greetings does not mean that the way that you are behaving is correct and that it will not be addressed at some point. What it means is I am responsible for my gifts. I am responsible for my energy. I'm responsible for the vibration that flows through me. And I'm not surrendering that to nobody slinging mud. Because then my vibration gets covered. And I'll have to work my way back out of that. I never win when it's mudslinging. I had to do something else.
Yeah, absolutely. And if that's not your energy, you can get an adrenaline rush for a few seconds so you can give somebody a piece of your mind. But then you go back to wanting to find your peace.
Yep.
But you just might have excited the mudslinger.
Right.
This is what they do.
Right.
So now you just, you poked your head out of the rabbit hole just to put it back down and try to rebuild that energy. And you watch yourself have an out of body experience, and you like, let me bring it back in. Meanwhile, the mudslinger is at full throttle now. You're talking their language, and they're happy that you wanted to, throw some mud because they can't wait to tell you more about yourself. For whatever reason, whatever problem this person has with you, their problem, right? They got a checklist. They have paragraphs of things they don't like about you, and they've only told you half of it. And you wanting to throw mud at them will allow them to unleash the other half. But as you sit there, in your peace, letting them, and like you were saying, it kind of feels like you're being defeated, because somebody's just piling on to you, just piling on. And eventually I'll tell you about yourself. What you just don't want, though, is it for it to come out as a big volcano eruption. Right? I've sat here, I've taken this verbal thrashing for a while, and here I am about to explode. And as I'm exploding, I'm watching myself lose my cool. I think most of us have been there. And just pull it back, but that doesn't save us from the mudslinger because you just extended, you know, that mudslingers, you know, you just extended whatever issue you have with this person because, you know, they're going to give you a piece of their mind more than that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. And they feel like you said it best. They feel empowered. You know, they feel juiced up. You know, because this is what they do. This is their realm. They comfortable. They don't know what the hell to do with no peaceful
They
energy.
don't.
And they're
They'll
like,
say,
what?
I know you're not talking. I
Hmm.
just that's the only thing I said. They can't wait for you to say, I know you're not talking. What do you
Right.
have to say about me? Like you've been
Right.
talking about me this whole time. Yeah, I did
Hmm.
speak up.
Hmm.
And you know, I even did it in a way that I wasn't too comfortable with it, but
Hmm.
I let it boil, um, and it exploded. And it's not
Hmm.
like me. Keep in mind, just real quick, and let you get back, but I am on hour 21 of a fast.
Oh.
Yeah, it's my second Sunday, doing 24 hours. I do from Saturday 6 p.m. to Sunday 6 p.m. So
Hmm.
I'm
When
hanging.
you Okay, well, let me finish this mudslinger, but we're gonna get to this fast because I gotta ask about this. Let me wrap this up. Okay, so yeah, so you know, it is really a very high and strong. It's a lot of power to be able to hold your emotions and your energy in check when faced with a contrary situation. That's a powerful person. The person who immediately goes to screaming and yelling and fussing and backstabbing and backbiting and all of this, they functioning out of the lowest selves, the lowest possible. They basically savage, you know? But the person who can stay calm, keep their peace, withdraw, or engage in as peaceful a way as they can, whatever the situation calls for. The person who walks, who keeps constructing, who keeps repairing, and keeps walking on that high road is a great deal of strength. That's a powerful person. It is so easy to just act in your animal emotional self and just tell somebody off or, start throwing dirt back at them. The strength is really in maintaining and keeping your peace. And again, the misunderstanding is that if you are flowing in a peaceful way, that you don't care, that you're not emotional about the situation, that you just want to let people say whatever you want and walk all over you. That is not the truth. Because really, somebody who behaves like that, the person that I cited at the beginning of this, is quite miserable. That's not me slinging mud. That is a well-known observation from everybody around that person. They're just a very unhappy person. And in spiritual culture, we say, the ancestors, God, take care of that. Take care of them. What's worse than being miserable your whole life and thinking that your whole life is out to get you? Like your life is against you. So that's why you got to make other people's lives miserable. Because in your mind, it's nothing but misery. That's a sad dynamic. So just because a person chooses to take the high road, don't mistake that for weakness. Don't mistake that for permission to continue acting, you know, your savage, incorrect self. Because a person on the high road, they don't have to do much. Spirit's going to take care of that. Or something will surface around to where they'll be able to address it in a less caustic way, but a very poignant way nonetheless. Yeah. So I remember putting on my Facebook one time, the high road is under construction. Don't call me because I'm not on the high road right now. It's going to be a whole lot of mud slinging, even though, mud is not where I'm supposed to be at. But, and then I said, okay, got to fix that because that's not who you are. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. So, for those of you out there listening, stay on the high road. Keep repairing your high road. If somebody around you just is insistent on being, misbehaving and evil, then you have to remove yourself from that person because, if they can't be reasoned with, if they're just intent on misbehaving or acting, out, you can't do nothing about that, no way. So it ain't no sense in you surrendering the peace and the tranquility of your spirit and getting mud on you. You can remove yourself from the situation and the spirit will take care of it for you. Staying on the high road, stewarding your gifts and knowing your power and your value, and going to a situation, no matter what it is, from a strong position of, I am valuable. I am honored in my own spirit. I have my gifts. I know my gift. I want to share and disseminate my gift with a high degree of stewardship. And I ain't letting nobody pull me off the high road. And that's that. For real. Flaw. Let's talk about this fasting right quick.
Yeah, it's nothing.
What kind of fast are you doing?
Oh, I just drink water.
Just water
Yeah.
for
So it's
24 hours.
it's just been waters from Saturday night till Sunday night.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. How you feel? Do you work out?
I work out fasted every morning, but I don't work out Friday and Saturday and Sunday. But I would if this was my gym schedule, I would work
Hmm.
out and not worry about um losing muscle or anything like that. I think
Hmm.
I've done enough research and
Hmm.
watched enough TikTok videos to understand that
TikTok.
you're not going to lose too much mass. And at the same time, I'll be 40 soon. I don't need
Yeah.
to be looking like the Incredible Hulk. I just want to be healthy. So
Yeah.
if you see me a little thinner,
Hmm.
just understand that I'm healthy. I'm healthier.
Yeah.
It's not really about just trying to look the part. Is you want to be the part. So.
Right. That's awesome. I'm so proud of you. I think that that's awesome. So you are having water, is bottled water, I would assume.
Hmm.
Okay, so let me make this suggestion because this is kind of my wheelhouse. I started fasting as well. In fact, from being 30-year in the Osirian priesthood, we would fast 4 times a year during the solstice, the equinox. For the 4 holy times a year. But we were never encouraged to fast long periods of time with just water.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you why. It's because you know one of the reasons that you fast is to give the digestion a rest,
Hmm.
right? 60 to 80% of your waking energy is spent on digesting, right? So you want to give your digestion a rest. 80% of your immunity is in the digestive tract. All right. So if we're constantly feeding the body, it is constantly trying to digest. It never gets a chance to fully detox and rest when it should. So that's a great reason to fast. Um, we weren't trained to fast specifically on water only because when you fast, then the body sees an opportunity because it's not digesting to take that energy and now begin to detox the blood, detox the organs, break down the fat. The fat walls off toxins on our body. It is a source of energy and storage, fat on our body. So when you begin to fast, if you're only using water, the toxins that are released don't really have an energy source that helps usher them out without strong detox symptoms. So, fasting on green juices, just green juices, right? Not chewing, a fast from chewing, I would call that. And using green juices helps detox the body, right? Um, and I am currently, like I said, doing intermittent fasting, and every twice a week I do a 36-hour fast. So mine starts tonight, 7 o'clock. I won't have anything. Tomorrow morning, I will have infused water. That's how I do mine. And let me show you. I'm going to go get it. Give me 1 second. Get my scarf back in there. Make it
Mhm.
all look like one. So infused water. And it is, I like to call it a garden in a jar. Where's the damn camera? Oh, a garden in a glass, right? And
Mhm.
it is cucumbers, lemon, ginger, and parsley chopped up, put it and just put water over it and just keep pouring water over it. And obviously, this is empty because I drank most of it, you
Right.
know. And what that does is it gives your body nutrients to carry out the toxins, right? And 36 hours is actually the sweet spot where autophagy or autophagy, which is the body's cleaning system, really kicks in. Like after 24 hours, 18 to 24 hours, your body goes into autophagy, which is its real cleaning, all the viruses, all the bacteria that's not necessary, old cells, tumors that you don't even know you're growing. The body goes and burns all of that for fuel and gets rid of it. You know, if you had any kind of virus, there is cells of that virus still stored away in your organs. That's why if somebody could get like Lyme disease or COVID, they can it'll resurface because or their joints start hurting and all this because it's all tucked away in the organs.
Mhm.
If somebody's had any type of venereal experience, even though you may have gotten the cure, there's still remnants of that tucked away in your joints, in your fat cells, in your organs. And all that needs to happen is a reignition or reignition of those cells. So when we go on a fast, we want to give the body some level of nutrient to help clean it out. And the autophagy, you know, really kicks in at 18 to 24 hours. And then 36 hours, your body's on, it's just burning up everything that's not nailed down because it will use it for fuel,
Mhm.
right? So the infused water is also very hydrating and it's more bioavailable to your body than regular purified or spring water. It's got minerals, it's got electrolytes, and it really is a much better way to water fast than just pure straight water. You know, you can do pure straight water maybe once or twice, I would think, but you want to give the body an assistance for what it is you're trying to do. And somebody might say, well, you got lemon juices in there. Doesn't that break the autophagy? No, because you're going to drink the water and then it's nothing. It's not like the body got to digest this. It's water. It'll absorb it. The kidneys, the black, it will absorb it. And then, especially with the lemon and the cucumber, will flush the liver. And
Well,
and
no,
let me just finish this.
okay.
And the liver is one of the body's main detoxifying organs. The
I'm pretty
liver.
sure what I'm about to say is not better than the natural um, water that you're drinking, but um, I purchased this superfood. It's a
Mhm,
drink, and it's lung, heart, liver, and I forgot what else. But it's the vitamin that we
mhm,
ignore because we just want certain types
mhm.
of vitamins. But and I'm not going to give them no shout out on the video, but it's a form of nectar that I do
Right,
take.
right. Okay.
As you break it,
Why you doing your fast?
yeah. So
Okay.
I took it early this morning.
Uh-huh.
Also, when I do work out, the
Mhm,
same company also sells a fasting drink, which is
mhm,
filled with electrolytes. Like I said, it's
mhm.
not as healthy or as homemade as yours, but there are tricks to it.
Yeah,
Not just water.
yeah,
This is the main thing. Like if I feel hungry, I'll
yeah,
drink water, and the water kind of will help out a little bit. Other
yeah.
than that, I don't really need water when I fast. Like I'm not
Mhm,
thirsty, but if I get hunger
mhm.
pains, I drink the water. But on a morning when I'm fasting, I'll still take a pre-workout, which
Yep,
zero in calories.
yep.
And I'll also take the electrolyte liquid that you
Mhm.
put in your water and you sip while you work out.
Right.
It allows to get the electrolytes in your body.
Mhm,
So it's not 1,000% just water,
mhm.
but I do, like I said, take a super food
Yeah. Me
straight
too.
drink
Me too.
during fasting times. Yeah. So
Yeah,
just
me too.
it goes. That's it.
Yep.
It tastes great, and it just goes right into the body, and boom,
Yep.
there you go.
Yep. Me too. Me too. There are people who are very strict though, and they say water only. And there's actually a group that I'm a part of that has they do like these water only fasts and challenges and all that. And I support them and I respect them. I just am going to do this. And then maybe just one thing of what, but the 36 hours, so tonight, 7 o'clock, all the way tomorrow 7 o'clock, and then when I wake up Tuesday morning is when it'll be time to quote unquote refeed, and that's always with warm broth. I have my superfoods greens that I use as well, and that and I'll have a raw juice. I take a raw juice that is a liver cleanse, and then later on that day, I'll have a plated meal, like, a salad, soup, or whatever. Not anything big, but 36 hours, that's the 24 is good too. 24 is great, um, but 36 hours is really when you get, a lot of cleaning going on. And that's what I want. I want not just, to lose, the extra fluff that's on my body. Y'all can tell Mama Yoga's cheeks is pretty plump, but I'm down quite a few, pounds, and I don't want, it's not just the aesthetics I want. I'm at a more elder stage now. And I want this body to be strong, this brain to be strong for the long haul, for all the days that I am blessed to be here. So that's why I'm taking this initiative for myself as well.
I'll say to anybody looking to try 24
Mm-hmm.
hours, 36 hours,
Mm-hmm.
stay active. I think that
Mm-hmm.
stay active, the time will fly. You won't even know.
Yep.
Stay hydrated. Just keep drinking your water or your electrolytes and your
Mm-hmm.
you know your vitamin waters, not the actual drink, but things that you homemade remedies like Mama Yoga made, and time will
Mm-hmm.
fly. And eventually, because like I said,
Yep.
I guess it's because I'm sitting and I'm not able, and my mind is
Mm-hmm.
not. I'm focused. I can feel it happening. So I was able to look at my watch, and I'm like 22 hours, 23, 21 hours into my 24-hour fast. But I got here. I
Yes, you did.
got
That's right. Right. That's
yeah,
right.
it's only a few hours left. You don't
Yeah.
have to work in just to be like, oh, on the 23rd hour, I quit.
Yeah.
The point.
No. And it's really mind over matter. It really is. It's
Not-
really your mind, because your body is like, our bodies are designed to go long periods of time without food. That's just, a prehistoric, if you will. I know a lot of Afrocentric people don't like that term, but prehistoric wiring of the human vessel is,
Mhm.
we're designed to go long periods of time without consuming food. Your body, the fat on your body is actually fuel. It is energy, for when you don't have food. So um it's mind over matter.
Mhm.
And there's also breathing techniques you can do to change your energy. You can walk, you can even get on the rebounder, which is what I love to do. Get on the rebounder, jump up and down, get that lymphatic moving. And it's not really extreme exercise, but it's energizing. And then you go drink you some garden in a glass, honey, or some regular water, or some, like you said, some super greens, or just water, and your body will you'll be all right. Get that mind. It's mind over matter for sure. Mm-hmm. All right, Flo. Well,
Yeah.
I think we did the darn thing.
Mhm.
Listen, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. We should do a poll. And the poll is, do you take the high road or sling mud or something like that? We'll Flo get it together,
Yeah.
specifically. But let's engage our viewers, and listen, till next time. Don't let nobody tell you you're the wrong size, shape, or color or age to do something wonderful with your life. Peace and love. See you next time.
Mhm. right. That's a wrap.
Okay, I don't know how to work it.
Oh.
I gotta stop it. Oh, there it is in recording.